1, 2, 3.
Folarin be ballin' for all y'all to see. Folarin be ballin' for all y'all to see.
And honestly, this one is very, very on topic with the topic of this episode. And it says, how the F do people even find time to write their senior theses?
We've discussed this one at length already, haven't we?
Yeah. And it's
I don't know. It's a question of the century, question of the day, especially. I had my seminar today happens to be with my thesis advisor, and I as I divulged already on the show, I have written 0 pages, and so I walked into my seminar today just like expecting the question from my professor, like, oh, how's the progress on the thesis? And so I'm just like kind of ducking my way into class. I like sit down at my desk. I'm like trying not to make eye contact with him and like just bolt out of class, so I don't have to be asked the question, how's the thesis coming? Yeah. So yeah, that one resonates with me pretty deeply. I don't know how you get started.
And honestly, same here. Where if anyone has suggestions, please shoot them my way. But also a very similar story. So I'm a neuro major. For neuro, you get assigned to a lab, you get assigned to a thesis advisor, so I've been assigned to mine, and the lab meets once every week. And so I met with him. I came in, I was like, I'm going to be so on top of my thesis, I'm going to have it all done. Because another thing for neuro is you do your JP with the same advisor, and you're allowed to just branch out on it for your senior thesis. So I actually had a great foundation laid junior spring. I came in and I was like, okay, senior, I'm going to knock this out so soon. I'm set up in an appointment with him like week 1. Meet with him, he gives me some stuff to do for the thesis. Don't do it till like week 6. And week 6 comes around, still really haven't done much. We meet again. I'm like, oh, my bad. Like, I've been so busy, blah, 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 blah. Another 2 months goes, and this takes us to like a week and a half ago. We meet for the 3rd time, and then we finally make some solid progress. But it took me a whole semester to even do the few things that he wanted me to do. And so every time I would show up to lab, I would be always so nervous, like, oh, is he about to ask me about my progress? And thankfully, shout out to Jesse. Jesse's the best. He is never like mad at me about how little I've done because, again, senior spring, I have whatever. But he's always nice about it, so helpful. So shout out Jesse. Shout out the Brain Development Lab. Love them all. But I'm sorry I have not been a great student this semester.
I second that. I apologize to my thesis advisor as well.
And second one, which is very on topic with bicker going on, which, again, this has been a very enjoyable conversation. I had 9 bicker conversations yesterday, and I've had 5 today, or 5 at lunch today. Let's just say they weren't all as enjoyable as this conversation we're having right now. Very talked out. So this is a pleasant one. But it says, I'm a soph and haven't really made any good friends here, mostly due to COVID. I'm planning on bickering, but I've only heard negative things about joining a club without any close friends. Does anyone have a good experience of joining a club without friends?
Yeah, I mean, that's just a tough situation with COVID. Like, there's so many people who are here who haven't experienced clubs like fully, just because we've had so many semesters off campus, so many Zoom semesters, yada yada. Advice: joining a club with no friends. I mean, keeping an open mind, I think, is always a good suggestion here. I think like I maybe limited myself a little bit too much in terms of my friend group. It like definitely revolved around the soccer team and maybe the athletic community a little bit too much. And so like for that reason, maybe I haven't met as many people outside my circle. But I think I think it's good to meet new people early on and take a leap of faith and join a club that maybe you don't know people in, because you never know who you might find in there.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. I joined a club with some of my close friends, but one reason that I joined the club I did as opposed to another one was that I knew a lot of faces in the other one, and I was like, this is a place where I will get to meet a lot of people, both the upperclassmen and people in my year, and couldn't have loved my decision anymore. Like I said, had some good friends, but have made some other really close friends that I would not have met if I didn't join the club. Yeah. So just shoot your shot, give it a chance. I wouldn't be worried about meeting new people, because when you join these clubs, there's so many different events to get the whole membership to be just one big happy family. And so people think about these things ahead of time, and they are aware, especially with this current sophomore class, who are the ones who started due to COVID, who started, they started Princeton virtually. Shout out to you, David, also. They're aware that it has been a little bit of a tougher transition. And so, yeah, I would just say shoot your shot. You're going to meet great people, and you never know where it'll be. It'll probably be in the eating club, might be in some other different activity. And you'll never know, and you'll never meet these people if you don't put yourself out there.